Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, welcome. My name's Monica. And I got this idea from Sam from Sam's Read a Little and from Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl. And it's 5 romances that I would recommend to people who are not romance readers. So the first book is Lothaire by Kresley Cole. And I did that with my sister. I know I shouldn't have done that with the first book, with like the middle of the series book, but I did it anyway. I don't care. I love a good vampire romance, and oh my gosh, he's such a good anti-hero. He's not even an anti-hero. He's just a villain. I remember when Kresley Cole was on a live on her readers group on Facebook, and she was talking about how she was writing his book. That she had to have a post-it note to keep reminding herself that he was the villain. He is an evil SOPOS. He is evil. Lothaire is evil. And she managed to remind the readers, yes, he does find love in the end. Yes, Lothaire does get his HEA, but he is still evil. He's still a really, really bad man or vampire. He's still very pompous. He's still very manipulative. He's still horrible to other people, but he is touch Elizabeth, and but that book is so good. And I was actually intrigued by Lothaire from the very beginning of the Immortals After Dark series. So yeah, you really need to read this in order, but if I was going to recommend any of those books, that's the one I would to a non-romance reader. And my sister actually didn't even need to read any of the other ones to pick up. She didn't even have any questions. She just really liked it. She was laughing at a lot of the parts. She loved the dynamic between Ellie and Lothaire, and the part where they sent notes in different parts of the different parts of themselves through the mail. She stopped and she looked at me and she was like, that is so good for a yeah, she loved that. She's like, that is such a good book. Anyway, yeah, that is one I would absolutely recommend for a non-romance reader. Another one is the MindF series, and I know that Sam did talk about it, and the reason why is that's exactly what it is. It's the romance version of Criminal Minds. I mean, you have Logan, who is a criminal profiler, and you have Lana, who's a serial killer, and they date each other, and he is trying to find out who's killing these men, and it is his girlfriend. I mean, and you're like, how is that going to work out in the end? Because part of the main reason why the main rule for a romance is it has to have an HEA, and it is a romance. And St. Abby, which honestly is the perfect pen name for that book, she does it very well. And it's not overly romantic, but the way Logan works with Lana eventually in the end, it was the perfect balance of the suspense plot, of how everything was going to go down and how the layers of the plot unfolded, plus the romance, and the romance didn't over consume the plot, but it also wasn't pushed aside. I think St. Abby, she did such a phenomenal job of balancing every aspects of the entire plot together, including the romance. Everything was just balanced out perfectly, including the characterizations. And so yes, I would absolutely recommend that one to a non-romance reader. My third choice, and it is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, and it's Josiah and Yasmin. It's a marriage in trouble, and it talks about mental health struggles, and Kennedy Ryan can write tough topics, and she does it so beautifully. She does not shy away from how therapy and how talking it through and how working with each other can actually heal, rather than just not, and just ignoring it will just make the problem not go away and not fester. I think because the way Kennedy Ryan talks about how the marriage, how Yasmin and Josiah go through them, how they work through their problems, even after a divorce, where they are working through what happened with losing their child, and how they are working through why they got a divorce, and and after Josiah attempted to move on, and all the anguish that everything that it caused Yasmin and Josiah, and why it made their kids, how it affected their kids. I feel like that book, and I'm not explaining it very well, but I feel like that book should be read by even romance and non-romance readers. Everybody should be reading this book. It is one of the best books I have ever read, and Kennedy Ryan does not shy away from these topics, and she does it with such care and with such beautiful prose. And I have, like I said, I've recommended it to people who are romance readers and non-romance readers alike, and I know it is being made into, I think, a movie or TV series or something, which I'm very happy about. But yes, that's another one. For my fourth pick, I would absolutely choose Identity by Nora Roberts. This is her newest one. This one is about Morgan Albright. She is a former army brat. She meets this guy, and on her, I think they're like the second date, her roommate gets murdered by her date, basically. He comes back and tries to steal her identity. He didn't realize that she was coming back. It was after their date. Anyway, and so she's haunted by this because her roommate, which was her best friend, is murdered in her place. He was going to murder her, and so for like a year, she's haunted by this, and ends up going home because he steals her identity, ends up destroying her financial name, and by taking her name, because she has a very androgynous name, Morgan. Anyway, so she goes back home to her mom and her grandmother's house in Vermont, and and through this whole thing, the serial killer, who is devolving, and he is hunting her, devolving, and he's circling around to come back to kill her, because he feels like she was his failure. Meanwhile, Morgan is finally moving on with her life and is finding true love and finding her place with her mom and her grandmother. And so the last book that I would recommend to a non-romance reader is The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. And the reason why I would recommend this is it's very much a military romance. It's also it's the aftermath of when a loved one dies, her brother dies, but she also feels like the man she loves dies, because she was writing, it starts with an epistolary romance where she feels like she meets this guy. She only knows him by his call sign because they're in special ops, and for his safety and her safety, she doesn't know his real name. And this guy comes back to I want to say it's Breckenridge. It's been a while since I've read this book, but anyway, he comes back and he wants to take care of her and her twins. She has 5-year-old twins, Colt and Maisie, and Maisie has cancer, childhood cancer, and so going in that one of her twins are gonna die, and he's there to take care of her. So that he's not telling her the whole truth, because you get his POV as well. And so that he is I think his call sign is Chaos, and Havoc is his dog. And anyway, there's a marriage of convenience in there, and it is so well done. and it's really, really gut-wrenching. This book is gut-wrenching. It's about she goes through what family is and how you do choose your family. I feel like this is one of her more popular books, so I'm sure a lot of people have read this, but I would absolutely recommend this one to a non-romance reader. I feel like the themes that she writes about, and she does know military life very well. She's lived it for a very long time, pretty much almost all her life. So I feel like she can speak to these themes very well. And the parts where she can't speak to them, she's done a lot of the research to those themes that she writes towards, like childhood cancer. So this specific type of childhood cancer. So anyways, those are the 5 books that I would personally recommend to non-romance readers. What 5 books would you recommend? Let me know down below. And if you made it this far in this video and you want to let me know you've been here, leave me your most used emoji. And until next time, my friends, happy reading. Bye.